All right, it's looking like video is done. Got us over into our live screen. Just want to double check real quick, make sure I have everybody on here. I've got myself, Merdad, King Voodoo, Rido, Exenfang, Pittsburgh, and it looks like we are getting a Magnus Carroll. Carell, so I'll add you in just a second here. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, Merdad, would you like to start us off with a introduction or intro thing?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to My Clash Podcast, episode 83 Super Sexy Soft Invasion. And we are joined by, definitely one side of the invasion into the north and the consequences therein, but, you know, strangely missing the quiet defenders. Not that we didn't try, we did try, we reached out, we tried our best. Wish you could be here. If you're watching live and you're part of the GOTG guys, make sure to poke us. We'd love to have you in. But tonight we're going to talk about the invasion of the North. We got a couple people who are poking around up there, causing some fights, starting some battles. We got King Voodoo here who pulled off a sweet heist. We'll hear all about it. And let's start at the top. Exxon Fang.
What's up, guys? My name is Exxon Fang. I'm a Diplo for the initiative, and I'm also an FC.
Beautiful. King Voodoo.
I'm the VFK by today guy. That's me. I've been on a couple times.
Have you
Was
already a
with
meme?
yeah, I was with formerly with Slice. You know, I'm vastly liberated from the nullsec politics and the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like I've never been really happier than I am right now.
You are free, my brother.
Living the meme dream. We'll come back. Pittsburgh.
Yep. Imperium FC, part of some of the SIGs that have deployed up there.
Having a good time, I hope. Radio.
Hi, my name is Rido Kudanen. I'm an FC in the initiative and also perpetually poor.
That's gangster.
And a really fast driver. And number one fan of the show, Magnus. How you doing?
Magnus, that's you.
Maybe you got tackled by work duties. Kale, how you doing? How's your week?
I Shit, I am doing quite well actually. I've been running those fun incursions, but you know what I did this weekend? I did something fun. I finally set up my keg system in my house or in my garage. So I have this super sweet keg system running. I have 3 kegs in there right now, so I'm enjoying a Scotch ale fresh out of the keg right now.
Sounds good.
What else do you
So
brew?
tasty. Oh man, I've got Scotch ale, peanut butter porter, uh, India Black Lager, a bourbon barrel stout, which I actually put into a bourbon barrel yesterday morning, a fresh rye whiskey barrel, and what else? What else? Yeah, that's all I'm brewing right now.
Should send some my way when you're
Oh,
done.
absolutely, man.
Same. That sounds amazing, man.
Tilskis.
And what corp you in this week?
I'm currently not in a corp. I'm just putzing it in whatever starter corp I'm in. I don't know which one it is.
Single and looking. Gotcha. And I'm Merda, and I'm still in Iramada, back from our deployment, enjoying being at home, making some money. I don't know why I'm making money. I should just stop that. Prepping for our next bit of shenanigans. We had a bunch of good fights last night, actually. PL stopped by, Blops group stopped by, in like the same hour. It was like, okay, I'm just gonna log on and do some. Oh shit, fight! Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go back to. Oh shit, another fight! Love it. It's good times. Wish Fountain always had that much content. But nonetheless, so everybody's still a little bit hyped from FanFest.
Yeah, I still feel fresh about it.
Bummed I couldn't make it out there.
Yeah.
Same. I don't know when I'll ever be able to make it to FanFest because I'm an academic in real life, but I'm hoping for Vegas one of these years.
It's also
This
very
could
good.
be this could be the year.
Although you got to act soon. Tickets are flying off the shelves for Vegas, according to CCP.
Yeah, they're a record breaking. They're a record breaker right now what they're selling. That's one of the things we were talking about. Let's see. So you need to get them now. They are out of the super early bird, but I believe you can still get the regular early bird pricing, which is, I mean, it's not too shabby. It's somewhere around like 198 bones.
Yeah, last year we had what, 800 tickets sell? Somewhere in that range. I'm sure they plan to take in more seats this year because, damn, like there were people who still wanted to buy and got like froze out at the last minute. And it's Vegas, like just find another room. You just have some more people.
Yeah, for sure. So I would very much like to go to Eve Vegas this year. I don't want to necessarily pay for tickets per se, which is why I'm hoping CCP will do the right thing sometime soon and allow the Mind Clash podcast to be part of the circle of fan sites. That's why I put up a petition. I will link that in the chat. So that way we can get CCP to notice us and say, hey, you know what? These guys who've been podcasting for 2 years are real people. We're not wormholers, by the way.
No one is.
Did they
I
exist?
signed it. I signed it, and you guys should too.
We're not even negative anymore. I think.
Negative what?
Well, I mean, you could have held it against us in our adolescence. We were an angry, bitter podcast.
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, we were official. I had the website. It said this is a fan site, not affiliated with CCP. All the whole mumbo jumbo at the bottom. Do you know who is on the fan site? As a matter of fact, the Learning Cliff podcast, all 20 episodes of it, they are an official fan site. You remember that?
They were a fun podcast.
They were great. I love those dudes. I love the way the guy just could not pronounce certain words.
They conveyed everything back to like naval references.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, you should go do that. Anyways, let's get on with the fucking news and shit.
News and shit. CCP Falcon talking to Massively OP.
He did.
What did he say? I didn't read it.
Oh, I didn't read it anyway either. But yeah, CCP Falcon are wonderful. He's an Irishman, isn't he? Irish, Scottish.
I thought he was from Glasgow, so Scottish maybe.
Yeah, he's Scottish, our local Scottishman. He did an interview with Massively OP, one of the great video game websites. I'll go ahead and link that here in the chat here in a minute. Talking about how he thought that the firing of the community dev team was probably one of the worst decisions they made. Essentially, I'm paraphrasing, of course, and that he's looking forward to seeing what is coming next.
Well, I'm assuming they're going to have to make some expansions or hires in that kind of community team or community outreach because, yeah, some of the standbys of the EVE community, like the Alliance tournament, are looking like they're on their last legs.
Yeah, I did read the article. Falcon just went over how he was a little bit nervous about the team after all the cuts, but apparently he's gotten some of his confidence restored as he's able to talk to Hilmar a little bit, have a nice long discussion with him, and Hilmar seems to be doing a lot more involved with Eve, so I think that's a good sign.
That's good. That's optimistic.
Is that because this is the only cash cow that they have now, being that VR died, or?
I mean, it's the only cash cow they've had ever, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
They've had a lot of projects.
Yeah, they sunk a lot of money into developing VR games, and every fan fest that I've seen over the last 3 years, outside of this one, was about their new VR projects and Gunjack and all of the trash that they were building around the game. You know, and I get that it was being, you know, they were trying to be forward looking, you know, and it was kind of Eve related, but like really, like people want to go to Eve Fan Fest to hear about Eve, hear about spaceships, not about Gunjack or, you know, whatever the new what's the game that they're releasing on PC now? People want to hear about Eve at Eve Fan Fest, not what CCP's doing on other fronts.
Well, Wingspan has a good point that they did raise outside capital in order to chase down those new cutting edge projects.
Yeah, I don't necessarily see like the mobile games are doing as a wholeheartedly bad thing. I mean, we need to get Eve's name out there, and those games, the way I see them, are kind of structured to be a stepping stone to Eve potentially.
Hopefully. I've got my hopes up.
My hopes are up. I'm looking for a new mobile game for sure.
I mean, no,
Project Nova should be fun.
there is an Eve mobile game. It's just not made by CCP.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for Project Nova. I don't know if you guys saw those surveys they sent out to people asking what they like in the first-person shooters and whatnot, and the crossover between the Eve universe.
Yeah.
I got one, and they should have mentioned the whole make the good game first, Eve second.
Yeah, which I think the community is behind.
Real quick, want to thank all our new followers: Flying Kiwi Birds, LR, Killer Joe 211, Geek Culture and Tech, Ackersman, and Pidgecky 2000. Gratsies. Does that show up on the stream somewhere? I'm sure it does.
You might not have that one pulled up right now.
Maybe. I'll figure it out. I'm still getting used to this podcasting thing.
We're professionals.
Super. Yeah, so following that, unfortunately, due to mass politics in CNN and EveOnion.com, Vladimir Putin, the #1 main man over there in Russia, decided to cut ties with EVE Online somehow and stopped letting their Russian players have access to certain IP addresses, which caused them not to be able to log in, and it totally crashed the RMT economy. Those poor, restless Syrian refugee souls. God bless. Anybody catch that? It was on the Eve news real quick. It was in Russian. It was just a bunch of squiggly Skrillex lines. Translate that over. I'll go ahead and link that.
I mean,
Did they resolve that?
It's not clear that it can be resolved because CCP's services run very heavily on
Amazon.
servers. And apparently the Russian government doesn't like Amazon for reasons, and so it's going to be very difficult to fix that problem. Although, to be honest, like, how much of a problem is it? Like, you just solved probably 50% of the botting problem overnight.
I mean, so what did X-Death basically just disappear? I haven't been to drone lands to know what impact this even had.
I haven't heard much impact actually happening to the drone lands, like people trying to take their space or anything, as a direct cause of the whole Russian thing.
Dinkle points out that Russia's trying to stop Telegram, which is a chat service.
Yeah, and Russian should still be able to do a VPN to get over, but it's pretty expensive over there, as I understand it.
That does seem a little strange, right? Because a lot of our Chinese friends in fraternity, for example, use VPNs to bypass the firewall there, right? And I can't imagine that it would be cheaper to get a VPN in China than in Russia. Maybe I'm just wrong.
Well, I've just heard it's like over there, it's a whole different service you get in addition to your internet. Like you have to pay specifically through the ISP. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I've heard.
Dunk's giving us an official tech lesson here in Twitch chat. He says that Russia blocked Amazon Web Services, which Telegram moved over to, and that broke a whole bunch of stuff in Russia and has led to a whole bunch of problems, including not being able to access Eve. So thank you, Dunk, for that. We'll try to read more.
Reading's hard, though.
That's why I like podcasts. Okay?
Yeah. I just figured it out. I put the subscriber notification, all that. It should pop up now. But also, thank you, Saber04 for the sub. Danke schön. Next.
It seems that there's a 50% sale off of select apparel on the Nest store, and there's been a bunch of sales on skins that they're phasing out. So if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
like your shit.
Yeah, if you're listening to this in your ears in a couple days and not watching now, you missed out. Sorry for your 50% off of dope shirts and jackets and stuff.
Aren't they going to be phasing out those items too? Like, this is potentially one of the last times you'll get an opportunity to buy them.
Oh, that's sad.
I heard they were phasing out a bunch of the stuff of the New Eden store. I'm just not sure when that all starts.
Yeah, I mean, they're eventually the plan is to, I mean, because they have so much stuff now right now, they have to start phasing out little by little and get rid of the older stuff, you know?
Yeah, they're paring down to a smaller, more condensed New Eden store.
True.
Yorksman says they would recirculate some things.
They recirculate the event that lets me get the Iron Blood skin for multiple ships.
A couple of those for sale on Gita. Come on. All right, big dev blog from this week was the details of the PI change. It's coming with Into the Abyss, the expansion. PI, obviously the passive income of choice of people who don't log in.
Yeah. That's totally neato. I don't know who else does PI. I do PI. Raise your hand if you do PI. I do.
And the masses rejoice.
Yeah, man.
I did
So
PI once for 6 hours, and then did it to set it up, and then like maybe did it for a week, and then completely stopped. It just did not hold my interest.
yeah, no, it's definitely not interesting at all. It's one of those things you got to do it, and just stick with it and let it happen. That's all you got to do. Let it happen.
You don't have to do it. Like
No.
you choose to do it.
Yeah, but I could make a solid 200 million to almost $1 billion a month on making robotics. If I remember to log in and reset all my extractors and all that stuff. But yeah, I can make close to $1 billion a month just building PI by going on like for an hour twice a week in the morning.
Good. It's good passive income, but
Yeah.
I mean, you do have to till the soil and all on that
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's some work. Don't get me wrong. That shit's fucking grindy as hell. But they're gonna make it easier. It's gonna be good. They're gonna have new build and scan options. They're gonna have new resource bars. And actually, so the way it is now, you know, you click on your planets in your menu, and it just brings up the planets that you have and how many structures are on it. But now it's gonna be like your planetary like production window, and it'll actually say, oh, on this planet you have this is being made, and this is what you have for inputs and all that shit. So it's gonna be very progressive. I've got good feelings about it.
You have to have a goal with PI. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it was pretty fun setting it up initially, like learning all the stuff, and it seems like they made it a lot easier, but I just can't be bothered to deal with it.
I mean, I'll give it a try once these new changes come out, but
Do it.
I hate it so much.
If they just made where I could do like a set layout and then throw it on all the planets for all my characters, like how you could share an overview, I'd be down. I would make
Yeah.
a stupid little P1 or P2, whatever it's called, like some random parts, and just keep selling those. But I can't be asked to click 600,000 times between all the accounts trying to set up these stupid chains to find out a month later that one of them didn't work.
Yeah, the setup portion does suck about that.
The update will help you then with that.
Yeah, kind of according to their update on their page, which I'll put here in a minute. Simpler build menus. We're moving the current accordion menu to just show you all the items you can build in one simple menu, so that'll be good. I think it'll be better.
Yeah, they were comparing it to 300 clicks to set up like a typical planet before, down to like 180 clicks.
Hey, we're getting there, boys.
Well, speaking of making some real ISK, Andrew Rowan's Empires of Eve Kickstarter has made a decent chunk of money on the Kickstarter already.
Decent.
You think?
That man's a fucking god among nerds.
He's up to $116,000 pledged with 1,500 backers almost. 16 days to go if you want to back this project. There's a couple bigger prizes if you are not prizes, but choices of books and audiobooks if you are looking to get a copy. I got my hardbound copy from Vegas, and I really enjoyed it. I know, Kelly, you got yours.
I got the soft one, but remember I bequeathed it onto Kelly Wog.
That is right. That is right.
I shipped it all the way to Australia, mate. For all it was like $16. I don't know what they call it in 16 quid.
Yeah, if you're interested in backing that and getting your copy right when it comes out, you should follow that Kickstarter there and drop some money.
Yeah, I'm glad I waited to get my Empires of Eve 1 because now I just backed it for 80 and getting a hard copy of both.
Yeah, I highly recommend the book. I've read it cover to cover. Absolute stunning job by Andrew.
His podcast also wasn't half bad.
Hey, do you know
Oh,
who we have in
podcast
the
was
audience right
fantastic.
now? You want to guess who's in the audience?
I mean,
My fucking favorite EVE Online trap artist, Captain Blesta. Ho, bum bum bum.
that is true. All right. Yeah. You'll catch it in a couple weeks, but me and Kale, I got to join in on the fifth recording of the Panic podcast. That'll be coming out on May 6th. Keep an eye out for that. The one and the only Railroad was on that recording as well.
Yeah, reload, railroad, whatever.
And you heard it here first. He didn't tell me not to tell you this, but there's a new Zed Kill guide coming.
That's awesome.
And it may be for the Macarial. Don't hold me to it. It's just rumors. But yeah, check that out. Coming out soon.
Yep. So as we get into the player news / battle reports, Doom Chinchilla just brought up in the chat regarding is this we're going to talk about the invasion of Doxing 2018. Kind of yes and no. I know there's something happening right now in regarding to doxing. Is that anybody know about that? I know it's a thing.
It's around voodoo.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, that's the doxing thing?
Yeah. We'll get into it in a second here. You want to do the sponsor?
I would love to do the sponsoring thing. I would just like to remind everybody that if you haven't figured that one out, we are sponsored by the War Deck Project. The War Deck Project is a project set up by a bunch of fine gentlemen who you might have heard on the show. Some guys who are running for CSM, like Commander A's, among many others. They are a Discord group focused on discussions of war decks in hopes of collectively proposing better systems and mechanics to the CSM and CCP. So if you're interested in high deck war deck mechanics, I would suggest checking these guys out and giving your input if you have some thoughts. I will link that in the chat.
And Twitch chat is saying that I'm a little bit quiet. Can you just turn me up a
I
little?
know, yeah, I just did that a few minutes ago actually before they even said that. I'm working on it.
Professional mumbler here, I swear.
I mean, this wouldn't be the super sexy soft invasion episode otherwise.
Of course.
Mic test 1 2.
There you go.
All right.
All right, so King Voodoo, let's go into what you were up to this week.
So I joined the court. I think Kale was in the court with me as well.
Yes, sir.
It's called Black Curl Bandits, and I was trying to integrate myself there. I'm not the most well-liked person. I've gathered this over the course of time. I am from Louisiana, but I'm not stupid. So I mean, I do pick up on people's intonations around me and all. And so I had a leadership in the corp was set up. I like the CEO of the corp that I was in, Rush. He's a decent dude. He's real charismatic, but he's kind of disconnected from the game, really. Like doesn't really play many hours during the week, and so basically, one leader of the corp. We had a fleet, and I, through what I do, smart bomb. People probably seen, my smart bombing videos and all. I handed out like probably about 40 some odd rattlesnakes out of my hangar that I'd thrown into the corp hangar to have a fleet. And we went out to mass some structures in Vino. And the one guy, he was going to fly his, what he calls a bulldozer dread. And during that op, another one of the FCs that was supposed to show up with capital backup asked me not to bring him out. Right. So we was midstream. He jumped up, put a couple hours of work in. And so he's midstream jumping gates. And I have to ask him to come back. Goons are moving 30 some odd dreads on Intel. And the other 2 Strat FCs that are in the channel with me are telling me, don't bring any capitals. So I'll pull him back. So I'm watching the screen, watching, Sino map and all that stuff. And we have a successful op, handed out all the rattlesnakes. We mashed the 2 out of the 3 structures we were going to do. And, we get back, pick up all of the ships, and then I notice in the director chat, he is losing his motherfucking mind. He's losing it. I've never been this angry before in Eve. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Like he's losing it at this point. So I'm like, dude, hey, I pull him in the channel. I'm like, hey man, what's going on? Well, why are you so upset? It's a successful op. What's the problem? Oh, it's like you didn't plan anything, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? All upset because he got pulled back in his little, he didn't get to play with his toy for the night. And I really felt he's being over emotional. So I told him, hey, look, man, take those emotions and reel those things back in, right? You need to reel those emotions back in because I didn't make a decision to screw you. I didn't do that. I was asked by the other FCs that were in the group not to bring any capitals out, and I obliged them to work with those guys. And I tried to apologize to him for, wasting his time, a couple hours of fatigue or whatever, you know what I mean, and having to pull him back. From that moment on, this guy, was slagging me in a group, making little coalitions. I'd come into TeamSpeak every day and watch him with the CEO in a separate channel. And then like 2-3 hours later, I get pulling, hey man, I need to talk to you about some stuff. And it's like all this extraneous shit, right? And I log in to have fun. I really do. I log in to have fun. So time goes on and it continue with the diplos in the corp are starting to get involved with this stuff. And man, I'm not getting to the point where I don't know where to turn around. I get I'm not the most liked person. I get that he's mad. I understand that. And I tried to make amends. I tried to apologize. I tried to tell the guy, hey, look, I didn't do this to screw you. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry for being a little bit, rough in my speech and all that. I really mean well. You know what I mean? Can you guys, stop with the bullshit? No, they continue to be little rats in the back, biting on every little thing I did. If I was late for a fleet, they'd be, chirping, oh, maybe I need to take you out of your role because, people are complaining and all of this stuff. And I'm like, dude, what did I do? I apologize for what I did. Like, they need to get over it. You know what I mean? If they can't get over it, then stuff's going to happen. So, it wasn't really a microcosm of like the greater, goons putting pressure on us and all. It was more a fact of, I don't log in the game to get heartburn, right? So last weekend, skip forward to last weekend. They were having I was having a gallbladder attack. I'm getting a little older, I'm not a spring chicken no more. And I woke up a little late. I slept in, I missed a meeting or missed the beginning of a meeting. So I hop in, I can see them all in the channel when I hop into TeamSpeak, and I pop into TeamSpeak and pins drop in the channel. What's going on? So the Diplo in the channel is like, hey, you guys, you had a bunch of complaints and all. Won't you bring those complaints up to Voodoo now so we can air this out and we can move forward with our corp? Cool. They blame goons. Crawfish like you ain't never seen before. All that shit they were talking, that shit shut the fuck off as soon as I walked in that channel. And they blame goons. So at that point, I decided this is not going to stop. I'm going to wake up every day. I have to deal with some bullshit every day. I don't play for all of that shit. So decided I was going to take everything. At that point, it's like, fuck it, I'm taking everything. You want to play the game of who's dirty? You want to call me dirty? I can show you who's dirty. I can be dirty. I can be that bad guy that you want me to be. So I pull everything. Everybody thinks that I decided I was gonna go to Goons because I can't rat. I don't give a shit about money in this game. I don't care anymore at this point. Like, I'm not joining Goons. I flipped the structure over just to see the little look on their face when they woke up in the morning, and the structure was sitting there with all that smug talk about being the #1 PvP corp because they lick the most food stamps and roam around the little ships. Like, their idea of protecting their Sav is rolling around in Delve and shooting excavator drones. Like, how's that defending your homeland? That's not defending your homeland. It doesn't make you a good PvP corp. They go shoot excavators in Delve space. Like, literally, we had a strat op last weekend. The whole corp didn't show up for the strat op to defend a Ritoru, to kill a Ritoru, and we wound up getting all our ass pushed in as a coalition, right? And what they doing? They're streaming themselves Roman Delve during the op. I mean, like, is that what is that how you defend your space? Roman Delve on the stream?
Sounds a lot like my army career, just a bunch of ridiculousness followed by more ridiculousness.
Oh, it's just drama. It's just drama. It's the guiding light. Like, I know a lot of people think I'm one for drama. I really don't like drama. I'll tell you about yourself if there is some drama. I don't really care for drama. You know what I mean? But I'll finish some drama. I will finish it. Like, just you came back from deployment with the Corps.
Yeah.
And like, the first thing you want to do is, hey, relax, drink a beer, go ratting and all. You didn't know the situation. You jumped out and lost your carrier, and you got a disgusting letter that made you want to quit the Corps. Was it fun?
To be fair, I was brewing beer, which is important for society and myself. So, that's important.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I mean, and I know there's a bunch of them listening right now. The important thing that they need to take away is, don't be honest with people. Like, if you don't like somebody, bring it up to them. Talk to them. Maybe they might want to be working on on some of the things. Maybe they might have some things about themselves that they want to change as well. Bring it up. Don't be a sniveling little bitch. It's my main thing that I want those guys to take off if they're listening. Like, if you're gonna talk about somebody behind the scenes, be prepared at some point to talk to them in front of their face. And if you can't do that, maybe bad shit might happen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You brew karma, that you reap the benefits of what you sow up.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of indicative of just the way some of the stuff has been going in the North. I mean, yeah, it was fun while it lasted, but I mean, it's a huge amount of space. And as far as not just an alliance, not just the corporation and the alliance, but even the coalition was going up there. It's I think it was too big for its britches. I think you saw that, and I think you got frustrated and you wanted it out and shit. That's like, why you don't fuck with the nerds at school, or you don't mess with those weird creepy guys in your platoon, because you never know what's gonna happen the next day. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I figure for myself, if I'm gonna be accused of being a bad guy, there's a lot of people. I've tried to work with people, and I get it. I'm not I'm socially awkward. I really am, and I do get it. I understand that. I've gathered that over time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not. I've tried to work with people. I know I'm a little overbearing. I got some things in my personal life that I have a lot of time to play this game, so I'm around a lot. And Eve is my social interaction.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk a lot in here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really get out the house much. And some of that results in me being looked at the Spurgy guy, the local Spurg Lord, I was called, right?
Man.
I deal with the cord I'm dealt, with the cords I'm dealt, and to put out my personal situation on there, like, oh, I'm gonna attack his character because he doesn't have a job and he sits around the house and all. Man, that's dirty, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you get to know somebody, and it just shows the character of the people you're playing with. If that's gonna be the first thing they throw out there on like the Eve Who and all that.
Yeah, that's one thing I always fear about. Well, not really fear, but it just pisses me off about when some people try and bring in personal life. This is a game. It's just a video game. We don't need to get crazy with it.
Did you cover what you made off with?
Oh yeah,
Oh
it was
boy.
around. I know they were like saying that oh it's only 60 billion. A lot of the stuff that was in that hangar, I put in probably about 60 bill. I put into the corp. I also built the corp services. You know, all the time I building a website for the corp. Oh, Voodoo's a bad guy. He's got some nefarious purposes for this website. You know what I mean? The whole time, like everything I did for the corp, I must have some ulterior motive. Must have some reason why I'm doing it. Not just because I have all day to play and I try pouring myself into what we're doing. Like now, like everybody can say, well, you took everything, you know. So I built the website. I put about 60 billion in. Uh, the character that I moved all of the stuff into is saying like 123 in assets, but the blueprints are not included. There's a pretty good blueprint library in there as well. The Fortizor that was flipped, plus you know, I got paid for that. That was you know, that'll buy me a few plexes. You know, and then yeah, it's right around 300 bill by my calculations. I know the sites are reporting less than that, but about 300 bill with the blueprints and all of the stuff. And I got to watch 300 bill of GOTD shit go to poof on that flaming bag of dog shit I left in VFK.
Wow.
It did result in probably the most fun fight I've had up there yet.
Yeah, and if guys
Oh,
left the station and went out and fought and died to defend their space, hey, that's good.
it's
That's more
content, right?
better. Yeah, more content. They all cry for content, and when somebody delivers to their doorstep, they don't want it. They don't want the content.
Yeah. So what's the next step for the king?
I'm gonna sit back and count some money, and I don't know. I don't know what I do. I may disappear into the ether. I may just play PUBG the rest of my life. I'm not sure.
You know what you should play is a little Far Cry 5. I've been playing quite a bit of that myself.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. It's one of those games where you can get lost in it for hours. Like I played it the first night it came out, and I had to play it for 6 hours straight without even realizing what time it is. So right now it's between EVE Online, Far Cry 5, and believe it or not, Breath of the Wild is one I play probably more often than anything else.
No, I mean there's a situation with goons up there, and I know that's what the show's about. And Asha and his sig and Kendor and his sig have been up here applying a lot of pressure, and you've seen a lot of cracks forming. Kenshin had two Fortizors flipped and all of the assets taken. B-Curls and Slice also had that. For me, it didn't have much to do with that, but it fit the narrative around the time of what's going on up here. From what I've seen in like the strats and all, like a lot of people talk a lot of shit about Sort. I don't think Sort's really a bad dude. He's got his problems just like everybody else. I got my problems. Other people got their problems and all. I think they don't expect anything out of their members. They don't expect that's the main problem that I've seen. Like over 2 years of being up here, they didn't expect their members to grow. They make cookie cutter fits that, you know, guys they don't have a logi anchor. They don't let's see some of the other stuff that normal PvP alliances do. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't expect that. There's no specialty crafts within the like how to put this force projection. They don't have any force projection groups. They just starting to do some force projection, like with the smart bombers. You know, they don't tackle very well. The you know the fits are really stale. They're really made for a dumbed down version instead of making a fit and then making people buy implants to get in the fit. They make a fit for like the advanced weapon upgrades 4, and they make fits for like people that don't have shield upgrades 5. Like they don't expect their members to get better over time, and you've seen the result of peacetime just chilling and not worrying about keeping your troops ready to go. Like firefighters train religiously so that when there's a fire, they can show up and they can put the fire out. In GOTG, they acted like there was going to be no fire at no point. They didn't train their members. They didn't bring up the level of the PvP across the coalition. They're not interested in that. They're interested in making fittings for the guy that just stepped off the boat instead of having a set of fittings for them and a set of fittings for your fighting soldiers in the front. So when you go into battle with groups that have hard counters for everything, you get your shit pushed in, and that's part of the problem. And there's no patience on the side of GOTG. They really sit around, and just only show up for the fleets. And I've seen them say, "Oh, we can't stay formed for more than 3 hours. My guys are gonna start complaining." Well, you're gonna get your ass whipped. You're in a war to defend your space. It's not crabbing time. It's not free time. It's time to go defend your shit.
So I think one of your ex-corp mates, maybe ex-alliance mates, Killer Joe, asks if you care about the time you spent and the effort you build a relationship with, I guess, him as a line member.
Who's that?
Killer Joe 211. He feels like he's been robbed as well.
Well, I mean, same thing happened when when the judge left. I personally felt fucked over because I thought he was maybe not a friend, but he was a pretty good acquaintance to us. And then all of a sudden, I felt personally fucked. So yeah, I'd imagine that Joe would feel fucked. But I mean, you got to remember, in the end, it's a game. King, I'm not going to speak for you, King, but I'd imagine.
Of course I did. I've reached out to people that I'm sympathetic to and that I've grown a relationship to, and I've talked to people. I mean, this isn't done in a vacuum. I don't hate everybody in the court, and I understand that there's collateral damage. You know what I'm saying? But maybe when you sit around and you pile around and you want to talk and lock channels about people, maybe you ought to think about that shit. About the person who's putting in money to the corp and got director roles. Maybe you ought to think about not being a sniveling little bitch. Before all of that happens. Of course, I'm the bad guy, and right now I'm relishing that fact. Relishing the fact I'm the bad guy. Come and kill me in the video game. Kill me. Kill all of my stuff in the video game. But when you start to equate a real life character off of what people do in the video game, that's where you step over the bounds and you start attacking people in real life, and that's not cool. Come kill me. It's a game. Why you have to be mad?
Well, I can understand being mad about a game, but being mad and taking that out of the game is just inappropriate.
Which is what I'm curious about. So what is the doxing thing? Is that a real doxing? We're talking like computer doxing, or we're talking
I
about?
think the doxing deal had more to do with guys at Kenshin who were looking up
Right.
real
Okay.
life
Yeah.
names and
Kenshin.
that I mean, actually one of the guys involved in that was I brought him in as like a 14-year-old like 10 years ago, which is Let Us Dig. A little Australian guy, and all they were mad about their stuff being taken, and in their Discord, they kind of went off in the Discord about I could find out their name, and I'm gonna find out this information about them, and I'm gonna put it out in the channel because I'm mad about my video game stuff. It had more to do with them than it had to do with me.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually, strangely enough, before we get off this topic, I had a dream a few weeks ago that somebody had found my real life name. Not that I really even care, but they're just talking mad shit in chat, and I was just very sad.
I think there's lots of people who have their real life names out in the community, and I mean, I don't know if you guard your personality or you play the game in a different way, like not on that edge of, betraying people that you would have people come back at you. But I just can't. I can't see the gain in going after someone in their real life for what they've done to you.
I come up in this game though, like being like a pirate, and I remember the days of clown punches coming in a local and telling you that your sister was having fun times with the hockey team down the street, trying to get you out of the station to go fight back in Sydney. I don't know who else remembers their podcast from way back in the day, but it was just the most vile, filthy, disgusting thing you ever had, and it was fun. It was fun to get in and just mess with people like on a game level, just talk trash, and I kind of built that into the persona of who I play in the deal, and like I've been working on toning that back. But like to me, it's a video game. You get to come on here and be somebody else. I'm not this person in real life. You hear me on comms and hear me talking brash and bravado. I'm not that I'm the quiet person in real life. I get to be somebody else when I log in and I step and I put that headset on. I get to be somebody different.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, man, I appreciate you coming on, venting and airing and talking about that, because you've been on our show a few times, and we've been on fleets together and shit. So I'm glad you came out and
I was happy to invite you to the court. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't
man.
invite you. I wouldn't, I consider you a friend. I consider other people a friends. The thing that really got to me is that the thing that came out of that meeting last weekend was they wanted me to kick the people that was my friends that I brought into the court for not showing up to the fleets when some of the leadership of the corp don't make but a couple fleets. You know, their friends don't make fleets. You know what I mean? Those guys were there with me when I went through my divorce, when I got disabled, when my dad died. Those guys that I brought in, those guys were with me then. Why should I not be able to play a video game? It's a casual corp. It's not a hardcore corp. And I know they're not asking for much, but asking some people that's been playing the game, that's got professional lives and all, to sit around 2 to 3 hours for a CTA at times that goes nowhere, sits on the Titan, and you have to remain absolutely still in the few hours they got to play during the night. They're not into that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of ties in a little bit with the rest of our topic tonight. I don't mean to cut you off, but we do want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do want to hit this up. The super sexy soft invasion. Before we get that, I do want to say something interesting. I was scrolling through the Reddit Gold this afternoon, and I found a quick reminder to myself, and now I'm reminding the rest of the community. I don't know if you remember back in early March when we had that March update where I lost my carrier and all kinds of tomfuckery was going on, and who was it? It might have been whoever does the dev blogs came out and said, in light of the extended downtime and the impact it's had on our gameplay experience, we will be looking to supply a skill point gift in the near future. I don't know what in the near future means to Crowd Control Productions, but this has not happened yet. So if you're mad about that, you should go hit up CCP somehow, some way on Twitter or whatever and say, hey, get my free skill points, especially for that carrier I lost, which I still haven't got any response back from my bug report on that. But anywho, topic of the week, invading of the North. It's not really an invasion, as we've seen, because not only are people like our friend Voodoo just handing over citadels to the Imperium and the goons, but that seems to be happening left and right. Guardians of the Galaxy and Darkness are just rolling over on their backs and getting their bellies scratched by the goons. Is this what we're seeing, guys?
The thing with the Northern invasion, or whatever people want to call it, is it's been going on for months. It's been a small group of people that have been doing it. One of the SIGs, Black Ops, has been up there long before anyone else, and they've been wreaking havoc, pretty much shutting down certain index systems. And then it kind of got to the point where another SIG joined up, and another SIG joined up, but now everybody's like, well, why not farm kill mills up there too? Because like Voodoo was saying, people are just getting such trashy doctrines and no skill that it's really not that hard. I mean, recently, I know I shot you a few links of some battle reports in the last few days where GOTG finally turned it around, but I mean, they've just been getting their shit pushed in for months on a lot of fights. So why not head up there and join in on the fun?
So what are these fights mostly around? What are the big fights around? Are these mostly around structure targets?
Hit or miss. The Black Ops group, led by Zungen, had been getting a lot of fights related to dropping on carriers and primarily Rorquals, thanks to CCP's infinite wisdom that you need a 7-minute safe timer if you get attacked in your stupid Rorqual. More recently, a lot of them have had to do with soft structures, whether it be on the offense or defense. Space Violence has had a lot of luck with soft structures. I know Asher's group has had a ton of luck, even going so far as just anchoring structures in their staging systems and forcing them to fight or allowing structures to come online. Not too much has been related to SOV at all. It's been structures or tackling thing.
Yeah, Asher's been doing basically a nightly circus in DO6 where we just anchor a couple of beta dells, defend some of the beta dells that are coming online from the previous night, farm them for content, and rinse and repeat. It's been a lot of fun having init dudes and everything come up there from time to time to join in on the fun.
Yeah, so where does init sit as far as the SIGs go? Because from what I understand, you guys have about 3 or 4 SIGs. Well, the Imperium has like 3 or 4 SIGs happening that are specifically to that area. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we have a couple of groups within the init that are doing their own thing, a couple of Blopsing groups. But generally, it's just been a lot of cord work between us, Reavers and Space Violence and TNT, and even a little bit of Fed Up. Basically, whenever we want to get something done, we all coordinate with each other and make sure it happens.
Did you say Fed Up?
Yeah, Fed Up's been doing a little bit of stuff up there.
Wow, good for them.
Yeah, so like Galmilistan is a little bit relevant. The fact that Kaldari militia have tried to take some space up there is probably relevant to their interests, I imagine. Um, as far as in its role, like one of the big things, like so we typically operate pretty independently compared to the rest of the Imperium. We've been doing that for a long time, since well before I was in the Alliance. Um, and so what happens is we typically form separately. We chat with other FCs either in Imperium member alliances or in Goonsigs, and then we just we do whatever works best, and that's worked out very well because it means that we can provide reinforcements and sometimes flip fights you know semi regularly, and it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good content.
Yeah, and it
Sweet.
seems like GOTG is apparently starting to put on their big boy pants and might actually call it a war or something like that. So we're looking forward to all of that.
Yeah, is this gonna be like the next battle royale, or like is the end game of the Imperium to take back that space, expand their space, or just are they just having fun?
As far as the space, I haven't heard really much about any specific goals in that effect. I'm sure people are planning for the future, but I think we're
Yeah,
just up there to make their day worse.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys don't need that space because y'all are sitting quite well where you're at.
Well,
Yeah, it's
other
a
than
question.
the super cap fleet that is trapped in 93 PI and Pureblind, of course.
Yeah, we already saved that, dude.
No, there's got to be more. VFK and all of them.
Okay.
The old ones.
Yeah, the big question is if they do fail Skade, what happens when you have a couple of regions where no one really wants the space?
So, like, here's an example, right? So, at the beginning of this, like, I guess you can call it conflict, like Pitt was just saying, like, when the Goon Black Ops folks were hitting stuff up north, like, back then, Horde was still in that space, right? And Horde left, and we miss them very much. We miss them so much that we sometimes, go shoot their stuff. And when we started like actually hitting stuff more regularly, like Rain in Cloud Ring pretty much evacuated before we could really do anything. The folks in southwestern Pure Blind, whose name I'm blanking on, maybe Exxon knows it, they pretty much fail skated and lost all their space before we got any real good fights out of them. Now, Brute Force and Southeastern Pure Blind, because we can bridge there from Cloud Ring, they're pretty much giving up the ghost again without any good content. We were just up there with TNT. I think one of the battle reports you had in the show notes. We were gonna hit one of their structures with TNT, and then like Asher wanted help with some onlining stuff in DO6, which is Guardians of the Galaxy staging system. So we went and took a fight in their staging system where like the two Imperium fleets outnumbered the entire GOTG fleet, and we dunked them. So like uh, most of GOTG's pets are dying faster than we can evict them. So we're not getting any good fights out of them. So now we have to go up further north and actually see if we can get some fights up there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like Suicide Squad recently widouted into Goons, and they still have Sov in southwestern Pureblind. Just no one really wants it.
The thing is, if you go around Pureblind, it is just dead. Like all this conflict is really pretty much driven by the Ashers or Kendars of the game. If they are not there, there's no fight. Like nobody cares about the Sov there. To be honest, if you look, nobody's really like mass grinding Sov or anything. It's like, hey, let's do this, or let's go harass them, or hey, you with the 30 cloaky alts that have Sinos and actually drop, unlike the people they keep paying to come to Delve, go shut down this entire region. Or if they get ballsy, then you start dropping on them left and right and farm kill mills. I mean, like nobody's out to take the region from them. It's literally just to farm them and bleed them over time, which is pretty much the goon strategy for all of history. Is hey GOTG, go ahead and herf all you want. That we're gonna go to war or war boots or whatever their stupid campaign is called this week. But bro, I literally like right now I just log in 5 oracles and delve and have no worries in the world. Meanwhile, you've shut down all Rorqual super carrier everything, making money in your whole region over a couple SIGs that may or may not even be up there that night.
I mean, from the other side, I could tell you they're planning on invading Delve with bee control, and that's the way to fight goons: is to abandon your homeland and move to NPC Delve while your homeland is burning to the ground.
Bee
Oh,
control
you're
got
killing me.
stomped.
You know,
Bee control came to Delve.
All I can tell you is
Bee control was actually quite successful, but I see Voodoo's point though. Was
I mean, if you look at the bee control, it's like one dude that's doing most of the work. It's that one multi-boxing bomber guy. Drawing a
Right.
blank on the name. Rado, help me out here.
is that Voodoo?
no.
Oh no, he's a smart bomber.
Was it Olmeca maybe?
Yeah, Olmeca. If you look at I got a copy of the bee control spreadsheet, and like half the entries were just this one dude doing excavators. So I don't know how effective that's going for them.
I know in Delve, as far as like from the people I know, it has zero effect at all. Like, for instance, I'm right now I'm Rorqual mining in a system with a dude who's been here for like 5 hours, like some NC dude. Like, dude, go for it. I don't even give a shit. What are you gonna do? You're gonna lose another 80 dreads instantly? Like, come on. Their solution is let's send some bombers down there to shoot the random excavator, and it does nothing.
You know, it's like they've got all this content on their doorstep, and they're just throwing the fights away. It seems like.
What's weird too is Asher, at least, I mean, he's been there longer. I'm sure SV's doing it a decent amount too from the few fights we've had already. But Asher is trying to take fights, like severely outnumbered. I mean, he's traditionally been really good at that, and he's trying to fight GOTG pretty evenly, I would say, in most cases. I mean, that huge dread fight we had over VFK, we were outnumbered and just had more capitals willing, and then like at one point they online their own Sino jammer, which made them not able to bring in any reinforcements and made it a straight up just head on brawl. And it was awesome, but I mean I don't get it. Sometimes they're outnumbering 3-1 and they just don't undock. They're like, okay, everybody stand down, go away. We're not giving goons content, and that's their solution.
That is the deal. I put a deal out on Reddit the other day. I mean, you can't whelp a fleet if you don't undock one. You know what I mean? And like as soon as a fleet starts to lose like a couple billion is, like somebody somewhere in the background is poking sort to wake up wherever he is in the world to get on to lecture the rest of the FCs about taking any fight that they lose. Like oh guys, you're giving them the morale. God damn, we won that fight, but now you're giving them back the morale. Like we were winning the Reddit war until you fed these ships to them. I was like, dude, like we're burning out here. Like you have to fight. You're gonna fight or you're gonna lose everything, or you're gonna have 10,000 timers to deal with by the time you're done. I mean, the groups that are up here were the guys that were shooting SBUs with stealth bombers and Dominions out. They're not gonna stop. They enjoy this shit.
Yeah, I could have swore I saw a ping from GOTG that was something to the effect of, "Hey, don't engage goons. I know it's demoralizing for your guys, but we're just losing that hard." And it's like
this is a fact.
at least put up a fight to give your guys some content. Like give your guys something to fight over. Like spin it to where you're starting a war against someone. Don't just sit there taking it.
So is this that PL will come? PL must come.
I don't know if PL is interested in coming. There's been
NC
very little.
NC will come since they've already moved closer for their super and sub fleet.
Is that to just enjoy the fights as darkness collapses, or put in a serious effort to maintain the what it is meat wall between Cloudring and NC's territory?
Definite, just maintain their meat shield. They're not showing up for like the regular fights. It's like, oh hey, we've got a staging Fortizar timer in DO6. Okay, they'll log in all their supers or whatever. I mean they're not actively helping them defend on a regular basis. It's more of a deterrent, like, oh well, we've got the super fleet nearby. But I mean, then GOTD just something stupid where they online a Sino jammer mid fight, and a super fleet's worthless. So I mean,
On,
Yeah,
on
like
top of, go ahead, brother.
yeah, like I don't know if you guys caught the Meta show happened a couple of days ago, but they've been saying, and what they said was right, where it's not that we've been winning the fights because we're doing a great job or have superior strategy. It's just they're making stupid mistakes, like the Roar 220 something dread bomb that we pulled off like a month ago or something like that. Now we didn't necessarily get 5 Titan kills because we had all those dreads ready to go and we're planning that for weeks. We got the Titan kills because they dropped their entire fax fleet on a singular Titan outside the blob.
Yeah, well, they don't, from the other side to tell you about it is that they only know to drop everything. They don't put anything in reserve. They don't say, hey, look, this number of guys, they light a Sino and they call in everything. Jump, 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 jump. Everybody's in and Titans are clinking off each other and sliding 200 out and then lighting a Sino and bringing the faxes in. And like, they try to spin the narrative that, oh, we can replace these more, quicker than you guys can replace those dreads. Those dreads are already replaced and they got insurance for them. Like, you can't spin that shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
the way you fix that, right? So you fix the problem of like jumping your entire fax fleet onto the one dude by making sure that one dude is the Moloch that PL's definitely in a primary.
unless you're the unlucky rag who goes to the wrong Sino at 0 on the dread bomb, right?
Yeah, but like he lives, so it's all good.
Pure luck on his putting on a single armor plate.
No, I think I'm not sure that it was a single armor plate, my friend. I think it was actually mostly armor. Most of the rags that guys have in it are armor tanks.
well, right before that too, they had a guy who wasn't even an FC. Like, he got his ass lit up too. I remember that people got sound clips of Cass Agnet getting his ass reamed out for calling in dreads. Dude, you not a fucking FC? What are you calling dreads for? Like 2 or 3 days before, it's like, he's running a bomber fleet versus an Ishtar fleet, and then he calls for dreadnoughts, and then like commenced to shitting all over everybody in the team speak because he made a bad decision. It was glorious, dude. It was fucking hilarious to listen to this shit.
One negative side effect, I don't know how big of a deal he was. Maybe Voodoo knows, but like Erebus silent kill, quit the game, or I don't know if it was some Reddit.
Yeah, he was demoralized. Like, he'd be trying every night to form a fleet. Oh, we need to go fight these guys, and you had 5 people telling, oh no, bro, don't go fight them, don't go do that. I mean, he's got his quirks, and I told him that, hey, bro, Eagles ain't cormorants and shit. You know what I mean? This ain't your cormorant fleet, bro. But like, he wanted to go fight. Janice wanted to go fight, but they get told no. And then when you ask questions in the channels, in the Stratops channel, you get demeaned and talked down to. Oh, you guys are putting balls don't exist. Lose chips.
Just roboted.
Oh, sorry.
You want to apologize for your Wi-Fi?
Unfortunately, when
Sing.
things like that happen, though, I mean, not that I've ever flown with Erebus or that I particularly care, but I mean, he's a content creator somewhere in Eve, and there's one less. And at the end of the day, that's just not making it better for the rest of us. Like, it's pretty sad whenever an FC quits because it's going to be one less dude that's actually going to give you those fights, which is at least what I personally enjoy, not really the meta side of anything.
Yeah, that whole culture of not taking the fights just blows my mind. Like, if you're gonna be losing hard and getting your shit pushed in everywhere, at least put up a fight. Like, at least give your members something.
I mean, hell, how many Hurricane fleets did the game swap in the Casino War?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, Goons gave up all these regions on their own. I mean, as a line member, there was plenty of fleets that I joined going out of Saranin that I was like, God, why are we doing this? We're going to whelp again. Or, oh, let's go to Hakonen and do another Typhoon fleet and we're going to whelp again. But, I mean, at least we were doing something. Like, that's...
Your members come out seasoned out of the back end of that, though. They've been in the bad fights where you got to broadcast for reps and guys are dying and things are not going up. You don't have the perfect form up. You know what I mean? You just went out and took a fight, and that's experience for your members to learn how to stay on anchor. Well, you died because you weren't on anchor. If you never take those dudes out when you need them to be there for you, when everything is burning, they don't know what to do. They have no clue because they've not been in a fight where things went wrong. You have to go out, you have to fight, you have to at least come up with something that you can come out and say, hey, look, this is our budget shit. We're gonna come out in caracals and we're gonna shoot you in the face with caracals and we're just gonna see who wins the IS war. That's none of that. It's just show up, in the expensive doctrines because we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose on Reddit. You know what I mean? And they never think about the line member getting that experience of being in that bad situation. And to just have to sit at the station and never even go fight while 1,000 timers are around you. You can't rat. You can't do anything. You can't mine. You know what I mean? And now we're not going to even fight. It demoralizes people. It makes them not want to log in.
Yeah, it would be one thing if they just, lost all their fights, and that's one thing, but they're not even trying to spin this in a way that puts them in a positive light. They're not even trying to give their members a narrative or something to latch onto, at least from what I see.
That's funny, semi unrelated to this, but I mean they're up here saying, "Oh, we're going to deny Goons content. That'll make them go away." Blah blah blah. But then, meanwhile, what I think it was not this past weekend, but the weekend before, Goonswarm held an FC tournament and just literally like handed out money to FCs to set up their own fleets. So while they were getting camped up there and like one little small SIG was dropping on Rook Wolves and killing random dudes and their carriers and crap, they had 200 to 300 dudes in Delve literally shooting each other for fun. I mean, morale is not an issue. It's just kind of sad that the other side seems to think that that's the solution.
Yeah, it's a losing endeavor, I think, to try to out morale the SIGs. I mean, if you stand up and held your ground and used your super fleet effectively, you could probably, deter those groups to, take tactical fights and with good strategy, you could have a decent war on your hands, which may put blood in the water and draw in more groups who want that kind of content. But, at least you'd be defending your homeland. At least you'd be out in your belts, out in your making some money.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really seen any offensive operations on their end. They're not even trying to hit, like, Init, for example. We're right next door, and they haven't done anything.
I mean, you guys are scary.
The only offensive has really been NC. They've Intosis a singular system in Aquarius 2 nights in a row, and I don't know, maybe they arfed it tonight, but they definitely did not the night before. That's their take the fight back to Goons, I guess.
Their line members deserve better than that.
Well, I mean, like we were sitting around when P Horde decided to move out to Geminate and with a couple friends on TeamSpeak. It's like, this is not good. Plus, I mean, the Horde being up here was a deterrent to the Six because we could just outform, from GOTG and Horde, we could just outform whatever you guys brought in the U.S. time zone by a lot, and you weren't making no traction at that point.
I mean, we still formed up and fought though.
Yeah, you did. It was a lot better. It was a lot better for GOTG themselves, right? Now from Gemini, they have to get a hole. They have to go and get a hole, and it limits the kind of ships and the capital support that they can bring. Like it really changed the dynamic in the north. You know what I mean? Now MOA and Chaos Theory went feel like void of space monkeys that lived in Fade back in the day, and just hopped in. It's just that that dumb meat shield that's sitting in that little fishbowl there, and they are getting their ass blasted in like the C4C pocket, just constantly every day.
That's just sort of like the Goon Swarm or Imperium control before the Casino War, though. I mean, they're slowly getting closer and closer to that, where they're spreading out and like, oh, we want to hold all these regions, and then it comes, hey, we need to go defend. In this case, GOTG on the west side, and it's as simple as we do that 4 or 5 times and blue ball every single time they come, and P Horde's not going to come every time. NCPL aren't going to come every time. I mean, if they do, eventually somebody makes a mistake and they eat shit, or they don't form, and then their ally gets shit on. So I mean, the way the game is now, I don't think it's conducive to you being spread out that far. You've got to be able to control your own space, and if you can't control it against a SIG of 200 to 300 dudes across all the time zones, I mean, good luck holding your solve any longer.
what I don't understand is the groups that live in the north. Why don't they just control and live out of the NPC areas? If you want to lock that area down, just control that area. That's the staging ground to hit all of your shit. Why not just plop your Fortizor down there and call all your combat forces like in ROIR, and anytime an enemy moves in, you just sit on their balls until they can't come out. But I just that just blows my mind that that thought never crosses people's mind.
Well,
mean,
I think logistically that's actually a pretty difficult plan. Like if you set up an ROIR for crowding people out of taking the NPC space, it's actually pretty hard to like get people to permanently hell camp NPC space. It's not actually fun. Certainly that's not a thing that we do in it, and we've got an NPC area in Fountain that's if anything, like it's certainly very annoying a lot of the time for the renters, I guess. But it's a lot easier to react and then mostly do your own thing than it is to try and hold space in NPC null. So it's not that the strategy is bad to like
You got to have
try
people
and
with the
hold
patience.
regions.
Yeah.
You just got to have regions that are A, actually worth something, and B, closely enough linked to where you can reinforce each other if you're going to have any hope of actually holding the space against any kind of determined harassment.
Well, they tried the camping. They camped ROIR before. Well, I mean, it probably had to be a
Oh,
month and a half ago, and
yeah. Come on,
the
man. The guys that were
camp
doing
made
it.
it a week maybe, and everybody just jump cloned home to Delve, made tons of money. The hell camp broke up, and then they went back to farming them. They just there's a difference between like a goon hell camp where when they deploy down to Delve and will literally camp even if there's nobody there for like a month straight just because nobody cares, and then a GOTG camp where like, oh, I didn't get any kill mails, I'm going to go back to Krabby and I'm leaving the hell camp kind of thing. So it's not conducive to their numbers.
I was on the back end of that as well. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you the guys that were running that. I mean, some of them, you know, didn't have the authority to call for the things that they were calling for to camp the systems, and some of them did. But it was static. It was really dumb. And I tried telling guys like, look, man, you leaving your ass hanging out in the wind there. Yeah, sure, today you're gonna do fine today, but tomorrow these guys are smart and they're gonna bring some stuff up here and they're gonna push your shit in because you're doing the same thing every day. It worked yesterday. It's not gonna work tomorrow. I mean, this ain't World of Warcraft. You don't buy the best mods and win every time you go out on the field. And if you do something, you revisit the scene of the crime repeatedly with the same things, you're gonna get countered and you're gonna get killed and you're gonna be dead and you got people screaming at you in the FC channels and then on the command level.
yeah, I think if they don't make a change in the direction of their leadership, or at least the narrative they're telling, I mean, they're just going to continue to bleed corpse and organizations and get their shit flipped. I don't see how their leadership hasn't woken up to what's happening to them and made an actual difference. It's just been all of the same.
Well, apparently Sort has been AFK from the game on family holidays or something. So maybe once he gets back, he might whip the troops up.
I think I saw a tweet from him either today or yesterday saying that he was back in Australia. I didn't realize he was Australian either. So he's back in Australia, and we'll be playing soon. So Sort Dragon, hurry up and get on the computer and get your coalition in order, my mate.
But like, does he have any other alliance leaders that can do that in his place? Because if he's a single point of failure, that doesn't bode well either.
I don't
No,
know if
they
you know
got-
this,
they
but
got some-
Sword
they got some
Dragon's
other-
a hard iron fist of dictator.
They got some other guys in there, but mainly they come in the channel and they're really condescending to the line members and all that's in there. They talk to them like they're pieces of cattle and pieces of meat in the fleet. And a lot of guys, there'll be guys that's like, well, fuck you, I'm leaving this fleet. Like you don't like the ship I'm bringing, fuck you, I'm going home.
You might see a change in the coming days, though. I mean, if you look at the battle reports, I sent Kale a few before this. There's three or four, I think three total fights where the Imperium has lost 20 bill or so. I mean, they were still pretty close fights. They weren't like a massive hell dunk for one side or the other, but who knows, maybe people finally decided they want to fight, or maybe it was just a weekend or a Monday thing. but at least that bodes well for the comparison. I mean, for the last 3 months they've done nothing but eat shit except for the occasional random failed dread bomb, which, like we were saying, that's already replaced. So they've got more to fill in by the day.
Well, it helped that we controlled grid there, and lots of our pilots were able to do billions upon billions of assets from that fight.
I think Eve has its like lulls and weekends or times when it's really super active, and sometimes it's a nice weekend out. I don't want to be stuck inside the house when we got a nice weekend. Pause timer, fuck that. I want to go ride my Harley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I hope you're right, Pittsburgh. I hope we see a change in them soon.
I mean, I personally don't have any desire. I mean, I don't know if I'm not a SIG leader like Asher for that. I don't care about destroying GOTG. I personally think it's actually a bad thing every time somebody flips, because it's just
Yeah.
one less dude we have to shoot. But I mean, it would be nice if they fight back and we have some hit or misses. I've been on plenty of ops up there where we just kill random citadels because nobody comes to defend it, and it's like, oh cool, I killed the 6-bill Rotaru, but I sat here for 20 minutes just bullshitting with dudes and didn't get a fight.
I mean, there's different sides to that. Number one, you don't want to just completely devastate and destroy a corporation or alliance or a coalition to the point where they just want to quit or make them fail cascade. Like, you don't want to see a situation where CO2 just completely dissolves because of one person. One person left, and all of a sudden the game's over for 1,000 guys. But on the other hand, if they're not, one, protecting their space, two, they don't have the initiative to, no pun intended, to do something different and actually spur their members to actually want to do something. I mean, you can't really blame them. So it's a double-edged sword. But hopefully, you're getting good. You seem, according to the kill boards, you guys are getting good fucking fights out of it. So you can't be going wrong there.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun lately. I will say that. Even if it's just in its fleet going out, or in it doing something else with the other goon sigs, or with TNT, or with Fed Up, it's been a lot of fun.
Well, I'm glad everybody's having a good time up in the north, even if it's just your poor old 6-bill Rotaru kills.
And remember, that's what this game's all about, is having fun. Isn't it? It is, right? That's what it's to do.
I mean, if you ask goons, they'll say it's about winning.
I think if you ask goons, it's about killing Eve. That's their goal. Let's kill this motherfucker so we can go play something else. Play some DayZ or whatever the fuck it is.
Pitts, at least you're not shooting large triple hard or super hardened large posses for 300 mil each.
Oh
You
boy.
know, honestly, I would rather the old structure system. I hate damage caps so much.
But the value, the kill board stats.
I mean, speaking of passes, supposedly we've killed their jump bridge in DO6 like 10 times, something crazy like that.
I'll sat and rep the jump bridges and all. I wouldn't even mind doing that. I just don't like logging in for all of the drama, like I said.
Well, Kale, should we talk about meeting some Eve nerds in real life?
I think we should do a little bit of that. Before we do that, just want a quick question to you guys. What is your, we just got off a fan fest, and now we're talking about Eve Vegas. What are your hopes and dreams in future for the future of Eve Online? Personally, or spiritually, or corporationally?
I'm excited for those small structures. I think having a deployable structure you can go and drop on some nerds for a day or an afternoon, that you don't have tethering, you don't have potentially even docking. I think that's a great idea. I think tethering has been it's a blessing and a curse. I don't know how much those will actually get used compared to like medium and large citadels, but we'll see.
It depends on the size. If it's not ridiculously small, then certainly I'll be using one.
I'm cautiously optimistic for the new PvE. I hope that turns out to be amazing and a fun content driver for people who want to do some solo, short duration, fun stuff outside of another Forsaken Hub.
I definitely like the way they structured that over like say, a Plex in Factional War. I like that after a certain amount of time, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to have a guy come to a particular location, and you can potentially bait out a fight there. Instead of, oh, someone's on D-scan, I better warp out of this site I'm doing.
Yeah, coming to local. Oh, time to leave the site.
Yeah, so what else, rest of you guys, what do you think real quick? What's your hopes and dreams for the future of EVE?
I'm thinking that the mutaplasmids are gonna lead to guys like the Chesses and the Kavaki guys and all doing some really sick shit in this game.
Dude, it's gonna be a fucking
Like
game changer.
the small gang is flip rolling stats on modules to go out there and get that fight outnumbered versus the blob.
Yep.
I would like to think, on a separate note from somebody else, that the CCP maybe continues their expansions on the PvE side, continue to refine their Sotios and get the famed Angel Titan in the game eventually, or continue that at some point, because it was a very good system and
those dank concepts
had a lot of potential.
Yeah, those Angel dreads and carriers are gonna be super dope.
I mean, I'd second a lot of the other stuff that folks have said. I think the main thing CCP needs to do right now is deliver on a lot of the shit that they've said they're going to do. And I don't mean that in a particularly negative or hostile way. It's just that
there's a lot of closed loopholes.
Yeah, like there's a lot of forward progress in the game that's been announced at this point. Finishing, getting rid of pauses, getting something like jump bridge functionality, fixing a lot of the stuff and implementing a lot of the stuff that's sort of on the timeline seems like a really good way for devs to spend their time for the most part. And then like maybe some balance passes on like Zealots because they're still trash.
Yeah, it would be nice to get that the laser bolt some love.
Yeah, the Assault Frigate balance they did recently was great, so I hope they continue more stuff like that too.
That's nice. The Retribution fleets, the people have been doing some amazing things with the Retributions here lately. Some of the
I'm
videos
sure
that
CCP is about to kill the Retribution, unfortunately. It's been a blast, but that's probably going to get smashed with the Nerf hammer.
Yep.
They need to give those ships a little bit more power grid. I mean, you barely can fit the weapons in any kind of tank on those ships.
I don't know. I think most of the assault frigates are in a pretty good place. The Wolf is still a little bit questionable because small projectiles are garbage. The Kaldari stuff is hit or miss because rails are kind of okay, but also the Harpy legitimately does have fitting problems. Most of the others don't. Like they're still usable. The Retribution could probably use a little bit of a tune down. Yeah.
Cool. All right, yeah. So, like Murdad said, we're gonna slowly start walking to the door. We're gonna do a little moonwalk on out of here. But first, I want to mention some meets that are coming up soon. There's, of course, the monthly meetups that always happen. There's Vancouver up there in Canada, as well as Toronto in Ontario. But Des Moines, Iowa has theirs on the fourth Friday of every month. So that should be coming up this Friday, I believe. And then the Houston monthly, which again will be on the 28th of April. But Magnus Carroll mentioned to me earlier that there's going to be a meetup on the 12th of May in Cincinnati. Are you still here, bud?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can you tell us a bit about that? Because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, this will be the second time we meet up. It's just a bunch of random players meeting at the Hofbrau House in Newport, Kentucky.
Did you say Hofbrau?
Yes, Hofbrau House.
Oh my god, I love Hofbrau.
Great beer.
Hofbrau's Oktoberfest is on point.
I'm a big fan of the Dunkel.
Nice.
But we're shooting we had 3 guys last time, just get some more bros and just have a good time.
Nice, yeah. So awesome. That'll be the 12th of May. What time?
About 4:30. I have
Cool.
an Eve meet link up I put up
Okay,
yesterday.
cool. Yep, and then the same day, if you're on the other side of the universe, aka Australia, Melbourne, they're having a meet on the 12th as well at 1900 in South Wharf, Victoria. They're also on the Eve meet. And then later on in May, on the 19th, there's the Eve Atlanta meet at the Dark Horse Tavern. You know, some we're always centered around beer and breweries and stuff. That's weird.
We like our beer.
I know it's true, we do. And that is actually going to be set up by Opus Magnum, who is the dude behind Eve Onion. I'm going to go ahead and link some of these in the chat real quick. And then while I'm doing that, I also want to talk about the first annual Eve Retreat, which I don't know who's putting it on. I've never heard of this, but in Lesterville, Missouri, at an actual wilderness lodge. You know, somewhat kind of like how Jay McLean does his Eve Northeast, where it's like actually at like a lodge resort, you know, type of place. So this will be the 31st of May to the 3rd of June at the Wilderness Lodge Resort in Lesterville, Missouri. $60, which I'm assuming covers, you know, the campground sites, and it seems like they have a lot of stuff there, but you can get your tickets on Eventbrite. So I'll start linking this stuff in the order of which I said it.
Cascora from Ambersands is organizing that.
There you go. The name left my head.
Yeah, and that's a food and lodging included kind of trip, all included. And yeah, if there's not a meetup in your town, in your area, in your state, in your province, just start up one. Post on Eve Meet, get some nerds together, and have some beers.
Yeah, I kind of slacked on it this year because I didn't know if I was going to be here or not, but it does seem like I will be here in the May-June timeframe. So we'll be looking at the 3rd annual Fort Hood area meetup hosted by myself, and it will be more than likely at the Bit Bar, which is one of those arcade-style bars where you pay $5 for the cover charge, and you can play any of the arcade games and stuff for free. So that'll be fun. Look forward to that here soon in Central Texas. All right, my friends. Would you care to do a shout out? We'll go in the order from the top. X and Fang, would you like to shout out to something or someone?
Sure. Shout out to my bros in the initiative. I absolutely love the alliance I'm in, but especially shout out to my fellow chickens in Fwetit. Bok, bok, bok. If you're ever interested in flying with pilots of a similar feather, the flock is always recruiting. You can go to join.fwetit.space.
Wait, is that like really your thing? Is chickens?
Yep.
You know, I myself am a chicken raiser. I have 4 beautiful hens and 2 baby chicks downstairs that I'm raising, coddling. I might be interested in hearing more about your chicken farm.
Send some pictures.
Oh, now we're getting somewhere.
King Voodoo.
All right. I'll give a shout out to Faith Hibra and Black Crow Bandits. You spent all day trying to get me out of the court for the last few weeks, and you succeeded. I left. I'm gone. Now let's see how good of a director you are, and let's see how you can build this court back together with your big mouth. All right. That's all I got to say.
Mic dropped.
Somewhere like that, yeah. Magnus.
Shout out to the Soul Society in Test Alliance. And come to Cincinnati for Eve Meet May 12th.
Yeah, and stop pinging me from your channel. Jesus, I want to go to Vegas. Stop pinging about it.
I think we should go make an appearance.
I
I think
can't.
we got about more than a dozen going for my corp already.
Yeah, my corp is gonna have a strong turnout as well.
Nice. All right, and
So
Pittsburgh, what you got, man?
Shout out to Shadow State and of course SV, the all-time favorite SIG in the Imperium, who's up there making all kinds of content as well as many of the other SIGs. And then obligatory Go Penguins, fuck the Capitals. I can't wait to see him stomp all over Ovechkin yet another year.
Did they make it through tonight?
Well, unfortunately, the Caps won. So for the 10th time in 11 years, Pittsburgh's going to have to shit down Washington's throat and watch Ovechkin cry as he plays golf.
Well, I'm pushing for Winnipeg this year, so.
Okay, let's see here. Shout out, first of all, to Villanova for winning the finals and saving me from weeks of drunken frat boys prowling through the streets of Ann Arbor. Um, Second, shout out to Fweddit, of course, Bok Bok motherfuckers. Shout out to the initiative, and particularly to Bliss and Pando for signing my corporation Christmas card. That was pretty great. Also, thanks to Axon Fang for setting that up. I'm not even joking. That's like one of the best things on my desk. And shout out to the, I think it was 11 court mates who joined me for that really quick roam right before the podcast, because that was fun. We got to kill something, and then I wasn't like terribly late for this either, so that was good. Thanks.
The appreciative Rome is the best Rome. Kale?
I got a little bit invaded by my 3-year-old. I heard her jump over the baby gate in her room and smash onto the floor.
Can't hold me down.
I know, right? She's a mad person. But yeah.
But
So
that didn't hurt.
it didn't hurt.
No.
Are you sure? It sounded like it hurt.
Didn't.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. Do you want to say bye bye to my friends?
No.
Why not? You want to call them nerds?
No. I want to go to poop.
You want to call them poop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rude.
No. I'm not.
Okay. Say bye, poopies.
Bye, poop.
You heard it. You heard it right there. Bye, poops.
I can't even follow that shit up.
This is your future, Mirror Dad. This is what you gotta get used to, man.
You broke the podcast. Thank you. We'll see everyone next week for another episode of Mind Clash. God.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for coming, all. Thanks for watching.
Say bye, poops.
This is my poop.
I love poop.
My poop is should fix it.
Oh. All right. We'll see you guys later.
It's not my poop.
Any last words?
Your dad's just dying in the video.
No, mean my poop tail.
Your poop pillow?
Yeah.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
Is your poopy your favorite?
But that was ruined.
That's ruined. Oh God. I gotta get out of here and fix that poop. Yeah, I'll fix your poop.
Give her a dead die.